Hi everybody, my name is Marla Lee and I'm so excited to welcome you to this online mini training called Ignite Your Drum Passion. That is exactly what we are going to do in this training together. We are going to ignite your drum passion. So, whether you're a complete beginner or you're someone who just needs some inspiration to rekindle their practice, I hope you enjoy this training. Before we dive into today's training, I wanted to just give you an overview of how this is going to flow. So for the next few days, you're going to get an email from me in your inbox. So please make sure that I am not in your spam folder. I really want you to enjoy this training. Secondly, I want to invite you all to join our Facebook group. Why? Because an essential part of this training is the homework that I'm going to be giving you. In addition to homework, I'm going to be giving you challenges. And why I love challenges so much is that I find as we grow older and become more in the adult world, we get stuck in our own ways, right? And so these challenges can help us get off what I like to say the drum fence and get over our, inhibitions we may have and get more motivated to practice the drum and play the drum. So I hope that you all take these challenges, and part of the challenges are going to include you sharing in the Facebook group. So once again, make sure these emails do not go into your spam box, and also to make sure that you sign up for our Facebook group. Now, these videos that I'm going to be sharing may not be available for a long time, so I do not want you to hesitate to watch them. So when they come, take some time to watch them. How to best practice. Okay, so there are a few things that we know actually through tests, through clinical tests of how people function better. And we find that when you have a dedicated practice place, whether it be for music, art, you're writing a book, when you have a place that you go to, you perform better. So I'd like to invite you right now to take a moment and figure out where you're going to practice drumming for this training. Is there a particular place in your house that you can set up some drums? If it's nice outside, like it is for us here in Southern California, go in your backyard. This is my front porch. I am so lucky. Now, for some of you who live in winter right now, this is your time of winter, and you can't practice in your house, I want to invite you to ask your family or your friends, whoever you live with, say, hey, listen, for the next few days, I'm going to be practicing my drums. Can I just use this space? And then what will happen is that they will find out how much you're enjoying drumming, and they'll just let you use the space forever. So take the moment right now and just decide where you're going to practice, okay? Create a dedicated practice place. And also, if you can, create a dedicated practice time. So if you know you're working for the next 5 days, during the day, then obviously you can't practice. I mean, you could bring the videos with you in the bathroom at your office. Or you could watch them when you're driving, but we don't want you to do that. So obviously, if you're working during the day, your practice time would be at night. But just look ahead in your schedule for the coming week and think about, when can I watch these videos? I don't want you to miss out on these videos, and they may not be available for a long time. It's really important to have a practice space. I really find that I function better when I have a dedicated practice space, and studies have shown that as well. So I really want to encourage you to figure that out right now, okay, before I move on to the next topic. I'll give you 1 second. Let's talk about what drum to use for this training. Now, I'm going to be sharing all kinds of information in this training, and part of it is some technique instruction. So I'm going to actually share with you guys how to play some of the strokes that we play on hand drums. And I'm going to share it to you on a drum that we call the frame drum. But the techniques that I'm going to teach you, they can be applied to any type of hand drum. So you do not necessarily have to have a frame drum. Okay? So any type of drum works. And listen, if you don't have a drum yet, notice that word, You will soon. But you can practice on a book or a box. Okay, if you don't have a drum yet, go get yourself a box and dedicate that for your instrument for the next few days. You can even paint it. Seriously, some of my teachers play on boxes still because it sounds really cool. All right, so now this is where it gets really fun. I'm going to give you guys a journey into the world of hand percussion. And this is for my friends who are completely new to hand drumming, who have no idea what any of these drums are called. I'd love to introduce you to them. So these are about 4 or 5 of my drum family, and I probably have around 180 drums. I'm a super drum nerd, and I've spent the past 20 years collecting drums. So I have a super big addiction problem to drums, and it's a great addiction to have because they make me feel so good. So I don't believe that there is, one drum to answer all of your magical needs. I really believe that each drum has its own beautiful quality, and so that's why I have 170. Okay, so we're starting with this drum here. What kind of drum is this? This is a goblet-shaped drum, and it's a Persian drum called the tombak. And I am not a tombak player, but just so you get an idea. So I'm putting frame drum technique on here. This is not traditional tombak technique, but it's kind of like we're all in the family together. We can do this with our playing techniques. We can take something we've learned from one tradition and apply it onto another, as long as you don't say this is traditional tombak technique, right? As long as you credit the technique for where it comes from, anything goes. And that's one of the things I love and why I feel so comfortable playing all these different types of drums, is because the technique that I've learned for the frame drum I can easily apply onto other hand drums. So beautiful instrument, animal skin, beautiful, beautiful instrument. The next instrument I'm going to talk to you guys about is this beautiful drum here called the darbuka, and it's from the Middle East. It's a beautiful, beautiful drum. And for the sake of the camera, so you can see my hands, I have my leg propped up on a yoga block. That's not how you traditionally play this drum, but I am for this demonstration. So here we go. Drumming is so much fun. It's really so much fun. And I'm not just saying that. It's like there are all these tests that have been done on the study of drumming and the brain and all the amazing benefits that it has. So it's so wonderful that you have joined this program. The next drum I'm going to talk to you about is one of my favorites, the frame drum. And this drum here is an 18-inch drum. And the frame drum is actually one of the most ancient drums, and it was a drum that was traditionally played by women in cultures all over the world. So it has this rich history with women, and it was played by women in sacred rites of passages and ceremonies, so it has this real sacred ritual feel to it. So I'm going to play you a little bit. I call this the lap style. Frame drum. Beautiful drum from Africa. And they normally play it with a stick. But I'm playing it with my fingers just because I'm a hand drummer. So I'm pushing in here, you see? It's a talking drum, so it's why you're making it talk here by how you push in. So, just a taste of the many amazing drums that are out there in the world. So which drum are you going to use for the training? This leads me to the next thing I'd like to talk about in this video. So your homework is going to be to choose the drum that you're going to use for this training and either take a picture of it or make a video sharing your drum, and share below in our Facebook group your picture or your video as well as an introduction to you, who you are and where you live and what drum goals you have. I will definitely be reading these comments below, and I'm so curious to hear about your drum goals. And it's a wonderful way for you to also meet other people in the community. You know, I have a couple of Facebook groups with my students, and people find that they have neighbors that are drummers, you know, and they had no idea, but because they joined this Facebook, they realize they live in the same town, and now they have a friend to practice with. So there's so many things that can happen unexpectedly when you share in this Facebook group. So what you're going to do, once again, is you're going to take a picture of the drum you're going to use for this training, or you're going to make a video, and you're going to share it in the Facebook group below, along with where you live and what your drum goals are. If you don't have any drum goals, then you don't have to share that. But if you're really clear, like, oh, I'd like to get better technique, or I'd like to drum for my children's birthday party, or I'd like to start a band, I'd like to write a song, whatever it is, share it. Because when we share it, it becomes alive. So the more you share, the more that your dreams become alive. So I'd like to thank you so much for joining our Ignite Your Drum Passion training. And, you know, for taking the time and giving yourself the gift of drumming. And I'm so excited to see these videos below as your journey begins or gets rekindled, and as you share the challenge videos. And I'm just excited to see your progress. So please do the homework. And tomorrow, please check your inbox for an email from me, which will include instruction on technique. So once again, the technique that I'm going to be teaching tomorrow can be applied to any type of hand drum. So you don't necessarily have to have a frame drum. You could even play this technique on a box. So that's what's coming in your inbox tomorrow. You have your homework for today. I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's training. And until then, go out there and drum your soul alive. Happy drumming.